When I say horseradish, many people will think of shrimp cocktail, but there are many ways you can use horseradish to flavor foods. Horseradish is a hardy perennial that does well in zones 3 through 8. We grow it mainly for the roots, but the leaves are edible and also great for compost. Hi, I'm Amy. Welcome to my channel where we talk about organic gardening and wildlife conservation. To plant horseradish roots, prepare a spot in full sun. Dig down 10 inches to loosen up the soil and dig in plenty of compost. They do best in a pH range of 5.8 to 6.5. If your soil is more alkaline, add some cottonseed meal. We most often plant horseradish from roots. Get roots from a local nursery or online. You can plant horseradish in the spring or early fall. Plant the roots vertically. I recommend 2 or 3 plants per family. Plant roots 18 inches apart. Place the roots 3 inches down and cover with soil. Water in well. In a couple of weeks, the leaves will begin to sprout. Just a word of caution, horseradish spreads and can be very invasive. It spreads by rhizomes, so keep that in mind when you pick a spot. You might want to put it near your mint, another invasive but delightful herb. Horseradish does well in containers as long as they are deep enough. A half whiskey barrel or 10-gallon pot or even a 5-gallon bucket will do well. Make sure your container has good drainage. Fertilize your horseradish in spring by spreading an inch of compost around the base of the plants. If your summer is dry, make sure to water your horseradish as a drought will lower the roots quality. Horseradish is related to brassica plants and is prone to the same pests, including cabbage moths and flea beetles. Use neem or spinosad to control them. Check out my playlist on controlling pests organically. Plants get 2 to 3 feet tall. Horseradish will flower and produce seeds, but roots are the best way to propagate. Bees enjoy the flowers. You can start harvesting roots the first fall, but harvest lightly. Cool weather brings out the flavor of the roots. Dig out roots in October or early November. Leave some roots in the ground for next year. If you have planted in loose soil, like a raised bed or container, you may not need a shovel at all. Just pull them like you would other root crops. So here we have radish and comfrey side by side because they have something in common. Very long roots that bring up minerals and nutrients from deep in the soil. Both these plants make great mulch or an addition to your compost pile. So keep that in mind when you harvest your horseradish roots. Cut the leaves off and add them to your compost. Horseradish can be made into a compost tea, which is an effective spray for brown rot on plums and peaches and helps prevent apple scab. Just chop the leaves and pour boiling water over them. 1 part leaves to 3 parts water. Let them steep for 30 minutes. Place the water in a spray bottle and use promptly. To store for yourself, cut the roots in 6-inch segments and wash off the dirt. Store them in a dark container with holes or a brown paper bag. You don't want them to be exposed to light. Horseradish will keep in a refrigerator for 6 to 8 weeks. If you have an abundant crop, store the roots in moist sand in a root cellar or cool basement. There are lots of ways to prepare horseradish as a condiment. Wash and peel the roots. Grate them and add 1 to 2 tablespoons of white vinegar and a few pinches of salt immediately for mild horseradish. For a more pungent flavor, wait a few minutes before mixing in vinegar and salt. Grating and cooking with horseradish produces a strong odor and can make your eyes water. Using horseradish goes way beyond cocktail sauce. Here we have tomato slices topped with horseradish and parsley. Horseradish can be added when fermenting or making pickles. My father always loved horseradish with roast beef. A traditional condiment sauce made in Eastern Europe is mixing beets, garlic, and horseradish together. It is also surprisingly yummy mixed with garlic and tomatoes. Young leaves are also edible and can be added to salads or cooked dishes. They have a sharp, peppery flavor similar to arugula. I would love to hear about ways you use horseradish in your cooking. Leave me a comment below. Please give this channel a thumbs up and subscribe. Doing so helps me to grow and reach more people. Thank you for watching, and I really appreciate your support.